Did you know that France, as we know it today, was born out of a rebellion against the Roman Empire? Let's journey back in time to the early history of France, an era when the region was a patchwork of Celtic tribes known as the Gauls. These fiercely independent tribes held their own against the encroaching forces of the Roman Empire until 58 BC, when Julius Caesar initiated the Gallic Wars and the Roman legions swept across Gaul. The Gauls, despite their valor and tenacity, were no match for the disciplined and well-organized Roman forces. Gaul became a province of the Roman Empire, its people subjected to Roman rule. However, the indomitable spirit of the Gauls persisted. Their culture, language, and traditions subtly permeated the Roman way of life, creating a unique blend of Gallo-Roman culture. As the Roman Empire began to crumble under its own weight in the 5th century AD, a Germanic tribe known as the Franks saw an opportunity. They rebelled against the weakening Roman authority and laid claim to the land. The Franks, led by the charismatic and ruthless King Clovis I, established the Merovingian dynasty, marking the birth of the kingdom that would eventually become France. This was a time of upheaval and transformation, a period when old empires were falling and new nations were rising from their ashes. The Franks, with their blend of Roman and Germanic cultures, laid the groundwork for a new society. They adopted Christianity as their religion, further distinguishing themselves from their Germanic roots and aligning more closely with the rest of Western Europe. This rebellion against the Roman Empire, this defiance of a once mighty force, was the crucible in which the French identity was forged. It was a period of struggle and conflict, but also of resilience and emergence. The Franks' rebellion was not just a political revolution, it was a cultural evolution that would shape the destiny of Europe for centuries to come. And so, in the ashes of the Roman Empire, the foundation of France was laid. Imagine a world of knights, castles, and kings. Welcome to medieval France. As the dawn of the Middle Ages broke, it brought with it a new order that would shape the course of French history. The feudal system, a hierarchical structure that defined societal roles, was firmly in place. At the top, the king, followed by powerful lords and knights, with serfs making up the base of this pyramid. This system, while inherently unequal, brought stability in a time of chaos. The knights, bound by a code of chivalry, were the backbone of this society. Sworn to protect their lords and the innocent, they were more than just warriors. They were paragons of honor and virtue, embodying the ideals of courage, loyalty, and generosity. Their exploits, both in battle and courtly love, would inspire countless tales that continue to captivate us to this day. But what's a knight without his castle? The Middle Ages saw the rise of some of the most iconic castles in France. These were not just fortresses, but homes, centers of power, and symbols of authority. Castles like Carcassonne, with its imposing walls and towers, became the heart of medieval life. They were a testament to the engineering prowess of the time and a stark reminder of the power of the ruling class. Yet for all its grandeur, this era was not without its challenges. The constant power struggle between the nobility and the crown, the devastating impact of the Black Death, and the 100 Years' War with England all left their mark on the fabric of French society. This era was a time of great change, setting the stage for the next dramatic chapter in French history. It gave us the chivalrous knight, the fortified castle, and a society that, despite its many hardships, laid the foundation for the modern nation we know today. So, as we bid adieu to the age of knights and castles, we look forward to uncovering the layers of history that shaped France into the country it is today. The year 1789 marked a turning point not just for France, but for the entire world. Imagine a world on the brink of change, a nation simmering with resentment and discontent. This was France in the late 18th century. The French Revolution was not an overnight upheaval. Rather, it was a product of years of social and economic inequality. The monarchy's extravagant lifestyle and the burden of war debts had driven the country into a state of near bankruptcy. The common people were burdened with heavy taxes, while the nobility and the clergy enjoyed privileges. This stark contrast fueled a revolutionary spirit among the masses. The storming of the Bastille on July 14, 1789, was the spark that ignited the flame of the revolution. This fortress, a symbol of royal authority, was overtaken by a mob of Parisians. Its fall signaled the end of absolute monarchy and the beginning of a new era. But the revolution didn't stop there. It spiraled into a reign of terror, a period of extreme violence and bloodshed. The guillotine, a chilling symbol of this era, claimed thousands of lives, including that of King Louis XVI. The revolution was an era of paradoxes, where the fight for freedom morphed into a reign of fear and dictatorship. Yet, amid the chaos and violence, the revolution brought about profound changes. It uprooted centuries-old institutions, replacing them with concepts of liberty, equality, and fraternity. It gave birth to secularism and nationalism, ideas that would shape France and the world for centuries to come. But it's important to remember that the French Revolution was not just about France. Its shockwaves reverberated around the globe, inspiring revolutions in places as far away as Latin America and Haiti. It redefined the very idea of revolution, transforming it from a mere change in power to a complete societal overhaul. The French Revolution, a time of great upheaval, forever changed the face of France and the world. From the ashes of the French Revolution rose a figure who would conquer much of Europe, Napoleon Bonaparte. Born in Corsica, Napoleon was a man of humble beginnings who grew to become an influential leader. His rise to power was swift, arising from the chaos of the French Revolution. In the year 1799, Napoleon seized control of the French government through a coup d'état, and by 1804 he declared himself Emperor of the French. Napoleon was not just a ruler, he was a reformer. His introduction of the Napoleonic Code was a significant development in civil law, which aimed to eliminate privileges based on birth and establish equality among all citizens. It was a radical change that still resonates in French law today. But Napoleon's ambitions did not stop at reforms. He was a military genius who led France to victory in many campaigns across Europe. With the Grand Army at his command, he dominated the battlefield, instilling fear in the hearts of his enemies. His greatest triumph came at the Battle of Austerlitz, where he crushed the combined forces of Austria and Russia. However, his military prowess could not protect him from his eventual downfall. Napoleon's disastrous invasion of Russia in 1812 marked the beginning of the end. A series of defeats followed, culminating in his abdication in 1814. He made a brief return to power in what is known as the 100 Days, but was ultimately defeated at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. Exiled and defeated, Napoleon spent his final days on the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic. He died there in 1821, but his legacy lived on. Napoleon's rule was a time of great turmoil and change, which shaped the France we know today. His story reminds us of the power of ambition, the potential of reform, and the perils of overreach. Fast forward to the 20th century, a time of global conflicts and social change. France, in the heart of Europe, found itself at the epicenter of the two world wars. In the first, it saw devastating battles fought on its soil, such as the Battle of Verdun. The nation emerged victorious, but the landscape and the people were forever marked by the horrors of trench warfare. Between the two wars, France enjoyed a period known as Les Années Folles, or the Crazy Years. This was a time of cultural and artistic flourishing, with Paris at the forefront of the avant-garde. Despite the economic struggles of the Great Depression, France's spirit remained unbroken. Then came the Second World War, and France fell under Nazi occupation. However, the indomitable French spirit rose once more in the form of the French resistance. Their courage and resilience played a pivotal role in the liberation of their homeland. Post-war France saw a time of reconstruction and transformation. The Fourth Republic was established, only to be replaced by the Fifth Republic in 1958 under Charles de Gaulle, a figure who left an indelible mark on French politics. The latter half of the 20th century saw France evolve into a cultural, economic, and political powerhouse. French influence can be seen in everything from fashion and cuisine to philosophy and cinema. The French language continues to be one of the most widely spoken around the globe, and the country remains a beacon of democracy, liberty, and human rights, embodying the values of liberté, égalité, fraternité. In recent years, France has faced challenges from economic difficulties to issues of multiculturalism and identity. Yet it continues to adapt and change, reflecting the resilience and tenacity of the French people. And so we arrive at the present day, with France standing as one of the world's leading nations. Through every trial and triumph, France's story continues to unfold, adding new chapters to its rich tapestry of history.